Welcome to Donington Park, home of the infamous Craner Curves, a helter-skelter of tarmac in the heart of England. Who will conquer Craner Curves today? Welcome to Grand Prix Legends, live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Peter Mackay, and I am privileged to be joined in the booth by the better half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, using camera angles perfected by Dougie Beard. Of course, Donington Park was the site of Ayrton Senna's incredible win in the European Grand Prix back in the early 90s in the pouring rain. But here's a little bit more information about Donington Park in our GSRC track guide.
Welcome to Donington Park. This British track can boast the rare feat of hosting Grand Prix racing since before the advent of the modern F1 Championship. About a half hour northeast of Birmingham, cars and bikes of many types have competed here. There are two layouts that can be driven: the Grand Prix version, which is roughly 2.5 miles, or the National Circuit, which is just under 2 miles. The only difference between them is the addition of the Melbourne and Goddard's hairpins at the end of the lap. This circuit is known for its fast, sweeping bends and difficulty in overtaking. There's also some extremely tricky blind apexes like at McLean's and Coppice. Ironically, one of the most famous and more difficult high-speed turns is called the Old Hairpin. Resembling nothing of its name, it includes a frustrating kinked entry and a very critical corner exit that leads to a long piece of uphill acceleration. The first turn of Redgate is a popular place for overtakes, but it carries an unusual danger. The pit exit empties right into the racing line, and if stops are expected during the race, it can prompt some treacherous exchanges. While the circuit is most well known for its extremely wet 1993 European Grand Prix, where Ayrton Senna blitzed the field for a win, currently the track is mainly used for lower-level open-wheelers and touring car racing. Overwhelmingly popular with British fans, Donington Park has established itself as a pivotal circuit in the UK racing scene.
So Ryan, I know you like to study the finer details of the circuits that we go to here in the Grand Prix Legends series, but what can our drivers expect today here at Donington Park?
Yeah, absolutely. This Donington Park track, I think the drivers are going to face the challenge of trying to make moves. And Donington Park is it's not really a big track. It's really tight, and it's got a mixture of high-speed corners, slow-speed corners. You've got the downhill sections as well. And especially the old hairpin, it's really easy to make a mistake through there. And I think the challenge for the drivers today is just going to be about trying to survive. And I think at the moment, I think based on form, I think Mick Claridge will probably be the man to beat. But I bet your passing opportunities are going to be into turn 1, into Redgate, or even if you feel brave, into the old hairpin, or even heading up to turn 7, or down to the final few corners as well. So plenty of passing opportunities, but it's just the question of when can you get it done, and can you get it done safely?
Yeah, of course, because today, of course, we're using the full Grand Prix layout, which Eddie Lawson once referred to as the car park section, or the parking lot section, I should say. He wasn't a fan of the extension of the Grand Prix layout, but does give an extra overtaking opportunity. Let's have a look at the championship points then, and it has been a perfect start to the season for Mick Claridge. 3 victories in a row for the British star, with Ovi Trengrade still 21 points off the pace, so still in touching distance of Mick Claridge at this moment in time. Bruce Nelson and Topi Kortenemi sit tied third at the moment in the championship standings, with Bill Tyler next along, and Chris Murakami and John Olsen also tied on points, so very, very busy up at the top of the championship. How are the F2s sitting at the moment, Ryan?
So yeah, the F2 Championship at the moment is still really close at the moment, with Dave Cohen sitting first at the moment, with Andre Eng from the United States in second, and then joint third at the moment that is currently held by Bill Wright, Randy Huff, and McDonald, and then fourth you've got the Finnish drivers, or a couple of Finnish drivers, with Heikki Koivisto and Jani Lehmann, with Peter Wojcicki currently joint fourth, and rounding out the top 5 is Chris Hengler, who just missed out in the F2 Championship last season, but at the moment having a good run and a good start to the season in 5th.
Indeed. So let's finally look at the championship standings for the Nations Cup. The United Kingdom, by virtue of Mick Claridge's perfect record, they lead by 21 points from Norway, with United States in third, Finland in fourth, and France in fifth position. Race details for today. As always here in the Grand Prix Legends series, the drivers have complete freedom of how they would like to set up these 1960s Grand Prix machines. A lot of adjustments in the car that you can really change the behaviour, and getting that set up just right for each circuit is absolutely vital. Thankfully, the Grand Prix Legends, one of the friendliest communities in the iRacing world, and all of the top drivers always more than happy to share what is normally a closely guarded secret. Also, a standing start here in the Grand Prix Legends series, so getting these cars off the line, Ryan, it's not entirely straightforward, is it? You've got to balance the clutch, you've got to get that bite point right, and try and minimise the wheel spin.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be really... It's all about throttle control and clutch control, getting these cars off the line, and a person that's really good at getting the car off the line and doing pretty well all the time in this car is Mick Claridge at the moment in qualifying, in pole position by 0.3 of a second over Finland's Topi Kortaniemi.
So let's get Rob Olenek over the line here in that beautiful, I think my favourite livery on the grid, the silver with the NART Ferrari stripes on the middle there. Absolutely wonderful as well for Rob Olenek. He will be no better than fourth at this point. Mick Claridge currently on pole position by over 0.3 of a second from Topi Kortaniemi, with Ovi Trengri in third, Rob Olenek in fourth. I think, Ryan, it's going to be really important here for either Kortaniemi, Trengri or Olenek to kind of win that race to turn one if they can, because if Mick Claridge gets clean air, especially at a circuit like Donington, which we know he loves, well, that's going to be a key to the race, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like you mentioned, Mick Claridge, once he gets in the zone and gets into a rhythm, he's just so hard to catch. So I think Kortaniemi and the likes of Ovi Trengri and Rob Olenek, if they get a chance into turn one, they've got to take the opportunity and try and pounce. Otherwise, Mick Claridge is just pretty much possibly going to basically sail off into the distance.
Checking out, as they say, in the motorcycle world. Ovi Trengri over the line. Does he improve? He does not, so he stays in third position. Mick Claridge sitting on pole right now. Now, is this Rob Olenek's second flying lap? It might well be, actually. So let's see if he can improve. 120. No, he can't. 9,000ths slower than his previous best. But Olenek will well, actually, Olenek starting now from the third row as well. So that's going to be a tough ask there for Olenek.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's got the likes of Robin Pawlowski, as I mentioned that as well, up in fourth position or third position qualified at the moment. So Pawlowski having another good round at the moment, doing well in qualifying and continuing that form from Brands Hatch last week.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see Roman running up the front where we know he's capable of doing. He's had some difficult qualifying sessions which have often put him very far down, and he's not been able to show his true pace, or he can show it but not get the results he deserves. So it's really nice to see him up there starting from the second row as things stand right now. Interestingly, a lot of the drivers actually setting their quickest time the first time around, so interesting. Wonder maybe if the tyre overheating, perhaps, we'll see, but it certainly seemed like most of the drivers setting their quickest on the first circuit. So a relatively short lap here at Donington Park, even with the Grand Prix extension, which not met with universal praise, would be fair to say, Ryan?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's Donington Park. It seems to be one of those you love it or hate it sort of tracks. And I think, anyway, just Donington Park, it's one of those tracks where it's such a challenge, and especially like corners through the old hairpin, you've got to get stopped. You've got to slow down all of a sudden, but if you take too much speed or get in the power too early, you'll run wide, and most of the time you'll probably spin out on that if you take too much of the asset on the exit.
That you may, yes, indeed. Of course, the Grand Prix layout, that's the extension from what is the Fogarty chicane down to the Melbourne hairpin and then back up again to Goddard's. Here we are on this section, and it was referred to by Eddie Lawson multiple Grand Prix world champion as the parking lot section, and it was basically kind of still, whoa, Murakami giving us some big oversteer moment there, but yeah, it was basically added on to extend the circuit so that it was long enough to hold Grand Prix events. In fact, the first ever World Superbike race was held here at Donington Park, and they've been racing here since 1931, so one of Britain's oldest circuits, and was founded by Fred Craner himself. It looks like we're about to see our grid positions for today for this Grand Prix here in the Grand Prix Legends Championship on iRacing.com, and it's going to be Mick Claridge sitting on pole position. He is on an incredible run of victories well into the previous season, where he was undefeated in every single race that he competed in season 1 and season 2. That run continues. Will it continue today at Donington? Well, all the form book, as they say, Ryan, on paper looks like Mick Claridge is in line for another victory here today, but we don't go racing on paper, we go racing on tarmac. So Topi Kortenemi will join Mick Claridge on the opening row of the grid, with Roman Pawlowski and Uwe Trengerade on row 2. Row 3 will be Rob Olenek and Gary Teal, with Bill Tyler and Bruce Snelson starting on the 4th row. And rounding out your top 10 is Antonio Rees and John Olsen.
Yep, starting in 11th, we've got Colin Bentley with Chris Murakami in 12th, Janne Lehmann 13th, Lyle Olsen in 14th with Chris Henler in 15th, 16th is Robert Plumley with Michael Gingziger in 17th, Matthew Mosley 18th, 19th is Emmanuel Pereira, and rounding out the 20 is Randy Huff.
Starting 21st on the grid here today at Donington Park is Roland Wallbank, with Andrew Eng joining him on the 11th row. Don Good and Hideki Kavisto start on the 12th row, with Dave Cohen and Jesse Brannan starting on row 13. And finally we have Steve O'Malley, Andreas Henkel, Eugenio Massa and Cesare Piccolo rounding out the top 30, and back row Bob, Robert Reynolds starting 31st. So you can see the drivers actually winding their way back around Goddard's hairpin as well, so it's going to be tricky for those drivers at the back. But Mick Claridge there, car number 1 on the left hand side of the front row here. The lights are being raised, we're about ready to go, and we are racing here at Donington Park for the Grand Prix Legends Championship round 4. Up towards Redgate they go, and it is a perfect start for Mick Claridge. Looks like Topi Kortenemi in that burgundy car has got up into second position as they head down Craner curves for the first time.
Yep, everyone's managed to make it through turn 1 without any issues, and look at this stack of cars coming down to the old hairpin, and is everyone going to get through it without any issues? It looks relatively clean, but at the moment it's Claridge leading, with Kortenemi keeping them honest for company.
That he is, yeah, absolutely, as they come up through Schwantz Curve and into McLean's. Really nice part of the circuit here. It's got such a lovely flow to it, and then round Coppice and you're back on the power. Of course, in these Lotus 49s they have so much power, and the power comes in almost in the blink of an eye, so got to be very careful applying the power. Down towards the Fogarty hairpin they go, Fogarty chicane I should say, not a hairpin, pretty fast for a hairpin, but through they go one by one down towards the Melbourne hairpin. Good opportunity for passing here, Ryan, later in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. If you get a great exit on the exit of the Fogarty chicane, you can carry that speed down to the hairpin, and if you get a run on someone you can make a move up the inside, but you've got to be careful though, because you can lock up and run wide and possibly risk taking someone out.
Round Goddard they go then for the first time, and completing lap 1 as quick as that. Mick Claridge in the lead from Topi Kortenemi, Robin Pawlowski in 3rd, Rob Olenek 4th, and Uwe Trengerade in 5th. Not a great start for Uwe Trengerade as well, and I tell you what a ripper start from Topi Kortenemi. He is all over the gearbox of Mick Claridge and really asking a lot of questions of our defending champion.
Yeah, absolutely. He's right on board with Kortenemi heading through the old hairpin, and he's keeping Claridge honest at the moment, and he kept him honest at Lime Rock Park until issues struck in the closing stages, and I think this is Kortenemi's best opportunity to challenge Claridge for the win if he can just keep it clean and just not do anything too silly.
Well, we shall see. He's certainly asking the question right now. 0.3 of a second separating. They're already breaking away from Olenek and Trengarade as well. So if Courtenay feels like he has the opportunity to pass, it'll be interesting to see if he waits until they've got a bit more room from Olenek and Trengarade, or, well, look at that, there's a good sign. Mick Claridge actually going to the defensive line into the Melbourne hairpin then, so he's very much aware that Courtenay could be a threat.
Yeah, he's feeling the pressure now, and I think Courtenay, he's not going to try and go for the move straight away. I think he's just going to show that he's there and just let Mick know, yep, I'm here, but I won't do anything too silly. But as I say that, Mick Claridge puts in the fastest lap of the race so far. But at the moment, pretty much these two pulling away from the rest of the pack slowly. But waiting in the wings if anything happens is Rob Olenek and the Ovi Trengrade.
Indeed, yeah, fastest lap of the race for Mick Claridge on the first flyer. Courtenay only 8 thousandths of a second slower, so very much the match for Claridge's pace at this early stage. We can now see the drivers settling into their rhythm. Now we've got a superb battle here between Gary Thiel and Roman Pawlowski. So Pawlowski dropped back, Thiel very much forging forward as they come through McLean's then up towards Coppist, and Roman Pawlowski clearly in a hurry to get back up to where he feels he needs to be. And already, well, look at the gap now. Trengrade in 4th, 4 seconds back to Gary Thiel, who we ride on board with right now.
Yeah, and it's your favourite camera of you, Peter, as well, DFV cam. As I can hear Peter in the background, kind of diddling like a little kid. But yeah, Thiel is feeling the pressure from Pawlowski, but Pawlowski's got Bill Taylor and Antonio Rees for company as well, so got a bit of a trend starting to form behind Gary Thiel.
Indeed, yeah, there is. So Gary Thiel, our 9th seed today, running up in 5th at the moment. Now they come through Goddard's, and then up through the gears, and then down towards Redgate. It's another very fast lap time from Mick Claridge, 125.0, Courtenay 125.3. It's a little lock up there coming through Redgate. Yep,
so he's feeling the pressure at the moment, and Courtenay still about half a second behind, but he's just maintaining that gap, but closing up to these guys as well as Rob Olenek and Ole Trengrade as well. So the top 4 have pretty much pulled away from the rest of the field, and it's at the moment it's a 4-car battle for the lead.
It is, yeah. It's really nice to see Topi Courtenay being a regular week in, week out member of the Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legends Elite. It's been very much a 3-car club for quite a while, with Mick Claridge, Rob Olenek and Obi Trengrade, but brilliant to see Courtenay being a constant threat every single week. Now, this is Claridge, now that he's getting into his rhythm, this is where he is so dangerous. He's one of those drivers that when he gets into the groove, it's impossible to get him out of it. It's like a farmer who finds a good furrow in a field.
Yeah, pretty much. That's an interesting analogy, but yeah, I agree with you 100%, and I think it'll Mick Claridge is pretty much getting in the zone by the looks of it, and starting to slowly but surely pull away from Courtenay, who's under pressure from Olenek and Trengrade now.
And this could really play in Mick Claridge's favour as well, because Olenek and Trengrade are going to have to work very hard to get past Courtenay, and the process of doing that will no doubt slow them up, and that will allow Claridge that critical gap to be able to forge ahead at the front. But looking at John Olsen here flying down the Craner curves with Chris Murakami behind, well, tell you what, the Craner curves are scary enough, but having your mirrors full of Chris Murakami at the same time, that's overload.
Yeah, it's pretty much overload, but it's also a scary thought as well. But as we ride on board with Murakami at the moment, he's not doing anything silly, not making any aggressive moves or eager to get by. And also on the other hand, Olsen is doing a great job of defending and holding that position.
You can see Chris Murakami there with the red helmet, white gloves, and of course his very much trademark paint scheme as well, with the full kind of kamikaze paints on there as well. And you're wondering, does that mean that he's quite aggressive on track? Absolutely, and we love him for it. That's what he doesn't get the name kamikaze for nothing. So round the Melbourne hairpin they go, and you can see number of times the drivers, just little puffs of smoke coming up from the tyres. That's just when you apply that little bit too much brake pressure, you can easily lock up the tyre. Now, for those who've never driven a car without anti-lock braking system, it's kind of like if you hit the brakes and you hit ice. It's not a pleasant experience.
Yeah, pretty much. And if once you're on the ice, you can't really do anything. You're pretty much just a passenger from there on in. But at the moment, Marikami's still keeping option on the pressure.
So Olenek has got by. Topi Kortenemi. Good spot, Ryan, as well. But I think we're actually going to get a replay. Oh, the joy of television. Here we go. So Topi Kortenemi in the lead coming into Redgate. Now what happens here is you get a little bit gets a little bit loose on the entry there. I wonder. Well, we will try and find the clip for you folks, but we're looking at Rob Olenek who is now up to second, but at this point Kortenemi is out ahead. Olenek in the shiny silver car following, Kortenemi in the burgundy machine ahead. Now, where is it? Is it an old hairpin one? Down the Craner curves they go. Very difficult braking zone at the old hairpin, and Kortenemi runs wide. Goodness me, if I had £1 for every time someone did that, Ryan, I could buy myself one of these Lotus 49s, a real one too.
Yeah, and absolutely. It was like I was talking about before, if you carry too much speed or try and get on the power early or even miss the apex ever so slightly, you can end up running wide onto the gravel and just costing yourself a place or some time anyway, and unfortunately Kortenemi found that out.
This will be a really fascinating phase of the race now as well, because Rob Olenek's fastest lap time is right up there on pace with Mick Claridge, within 400ths of a second of Claridge's very best. So maybe there's an opportunity now that Olenek has clear air to really put the hammer down and see if he can reel in Mick Claridge. We shall see. Looking at the number 9 car here on circuit as well, which is Gary Teal. Bill Tyler behind him, and often we see Gary and Bill having a bit of ding-dong out there on track.
Yeah, pretty much. These guys are, anytime I've watched in the series this season or last season or just in general, I think these guys have always been close together and they've always had a good race, and again having a good race at the moment as Tyler's looks like trying to make a move into the old not the old hairpin, into the hairpin I should say, but can't get the move done.
No, not quite. There is you often see a little bit of dive bombing going on there into the Melbourne hairpin. Now Mick Claridge really starting to turn the screw. 125.0 again, his fastest lap, the fastest lap of the entire race. Rob Olenek last time by 125.2, so another 2 seconds go. The gap's up to 2 seconds, but this lap around, Ryan, we might see now that Olenek has got completely fresh air. We'll see if he can do anything to stop the number 1 Mick Claridge.
Yeah, excuse me, it's more impossible. I mean, Rob Olenek, in the past anyway, he's been right up there challenging Mick Claridge, and on his day can give him a run for his money when it comes to pace. But Ove Traingrade sticking with him as well. I think, I don't know, maybe Ove might try and use the draft to try and with Ove and maybe try and catch up to Mick, but at the moment Mick Claridge has got a 2.2 second advantage.
Yeah, you wonder if Olenek and Traingrade might well just kind of, well, not work together, that's not the right description, but maybe not give each other a hard time at this stage in the race and try and put a bit of distance between themselves and a former second place driver, Topi Kortenemi, in 4th. We shall see. Of course, we're just about 1/3 distance as well, so tyres are nicely up to temperature now, at proper operating temperature. And what's really important with these cars, Ryan, of course, is that 500 kilograms, they're very, very light, but they burn off fuel at an incredible pace. So I guess the car will be coming to the drivers all the way through the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Is up there now? You've got the track temperature as well, 28 degrees Celsius. So it says it's not really hot when you think about it, but it's still, it can play a factor with these cars as well. Considering Ove Traingrade gets sideways, and I thought he was going to lose it there for a second.
Of course, that track temperature is so important, but we're hearing that Chris Hengler has been involved in a pretty big wreck. Let's have a look on our GSRC replay. So there's Chris in the number 18 car, just loses it. Oh, into the Fogarty. Oh, no. Oh, dearie me, it's a domino effect. Oh, what a shame for all concerned. An honest mistake there from Chris Hengler. I think that was maybe Pereira. Yes, it was. Manuel Pereira in the 17 car. There was another car involved that got caught up there as well. Oh, such a pity. Such a pity. I did not catch who the other driver was, Ryan, did you?
I'm not sure who it was, but that was just unfortunate for Hengler. But back up at the front, it's Mick Claridge still leading the way. From Rob Olenek and Ovi Trengrade, and Topi Cortanemi's fallen down, or is pretty much fallen down to fourth after having a great start to the race. So I don't know if his setup or maybe tyre pressures are not suiting these track conditions at the moment, or maybe Cortanemi's just not able to keep up the pace, if you like.
Just to pick up the track temperature discussion, 28 degrees centigrade is relatively high, certainly for this part of the world anyway, that's for sure. And that high track temperature, folks, really makes it a lot more difficult for the tyres to get their grip. The track can be a little bit greasy sometimes when the track temperature gets high. To give a bit of context, I was doing commentating on a motorcycle meeting in early October last year at my home circuit here in Scotland at Knockhill, and it was a little bit damp. The track temperature was 6 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, that's just a normal day in Scotland, or normal temperature in Scotland. So yeah, you're used to that. But some other drivers from other countries, Robbie made a mistake.
Oh, a little bit of an error there from Olenek, just coming around the Melbourne hairpin, a little bit too much mustard, and Ovi Trengrade spots an opportunity, and so does Topi Cortanemi. He's thinking, right, let's get back to business. He had such a strong start to the race, as you rightly said, Ryan, and down they go towards Redgate side by side. This is always a tricky one. Cortanemi spots his opportunity. He goes for the perfect swooping line. Nice early apex, back on the power early, down side by side through Craners. Well, big wobble there for Cortanemi as well. Shows you that even when you're going up the gears, the wheel spin is still there. Still have to manage it. Down they go, and Olenik's turn to go wide now. Cortanemi goes through, as does Trengrade at the front of the pack. So it just shows you just need to step that tiny bit over the edge at the old hairpin, and it will bite you.
Yep, Cortanemi found that out not too long ago, and Olenik found out now as well. So these guys are pretty much pushing each other, but on the other hand, that's allowing Mick Claridge to pull away, take the advantage, and build up that lead. He's got it up to about 4.5 seconds now. So Mick Claridge pretty much being the maestro right there. It's just be putting on a dominant display.
Yeah, he has. He's been absolutely flawless. What boggles my mind, Ryan, is that he's able to do this every single week. I cannot remember if for £1 million, I could not remember the last time he made his own mistake on track. And I'd like £1 million.
Yeah, I would too, but yeah, I'd probably end up buying Knockhill with it. I'm sure you would, but
I don't think you could buy Knockhill for £1 million.
Well, probably more than that.
To drive there, though.
I'll be quiet. I'll get my coat and leave the building.
Now, what would you if you couldn't buy Knockhill, Ryan? What would you spend your £1 million on?
I have no idea.
I tell you what I would do. There is, for $950,000, there is a genuine Pratt & Miller C7 Corvette for sale. Yes, please. I don't know what I would run it on, but I could sit and look at it.
Since you mentioned that, I would probably buy or try and buy an Aston Martin DBR9 GT1 car.
We're gonna get each other too excited here, Ryan. Anyway, back to the racing. The Open Trengrade, Cortanemi, Olenek here, all just running one by one at the moment, but it's a little bit more fractious in the midfield. Janne Lehmann and Laus Olsen battling over 13th position. But it seems to me, Ryan, that for Trengrade, Cortanemi and Olenek, they know that Claridge is now checked out, and they kind of think, well, we might as well have a battle amongst ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much. And I thought I was going to be contact there.
Oh, I'm glad I have an open and shut microphone because that was a naughty word that nearly just came out. My goodness me. Wow. As you see, Kenny Lehman, I love that paint scheme. Isn't that nice? On a proper classic Grand Prix car, very much a modern paint scheme. Looks like they've thrown about 3 or 4 different cans of Dulux all over it, but it works. It looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to mention that myself. It has that kind of Dulux look, if you like, but it looks pretty cool, nice and simple. But Lehman and Olsen and Henkel as well in the background are pretty much going at it for 13th, and yeah, it's great racing going on at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, Henkel there in the Martini stripe car, massive slide going down Craner cars, very nice. You can see Henkel really on the move. Of course, we see Henkel in the Lotus 79 series, which will be on the Global Sim Racing channel tomorrow around lunchtime Eastern time. Do check out our website, globalsimracingchannel.com, for all our listings. So yeah, Henkel starting from the back of the pack, 28th position, up to 15th already. So he's very much on the charge. And now I like that symmetry, Ryan. Not only has he got the Martini stripe on the car, he's got the overalls as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, he gets sideways. Whoa.
Gonna need a Martini to cool off after that one, my goodness.
But yeah, I was going to say I'll probably need a Martini after watching that, but I probably would have spilled it watching that.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I do like a Vespa Martini that's very strong with the vodka and the vermouth, but it is, they're very tasty and gets the dancing juice going, that's for sure. So, Ovi Trengarade leading this little pack here. I hate to use the word best of the rest because that's really not fair on these guys. Claridge is really in the form of his life at the moment and just clicking out these race wins with relative ease. It is not easy, believe me. But Trengarade, Kortenemi and Olenek, a superb battle between those 3. But Claridge now into the 124s, the only driver to be in that bracket at the moment. Yeah,
absolutely. And he's got traffic in front of him up ahead, so this could be a deciding factor in this race. But I think Mick Claridge, with having a decent lead, should be fine. But further back as well, these guys are still going at it for second and third place, and absolutely fantastic battle between these 3.
Oh yeah, Kortenemi looking very, very strong actually. Kind of went past Olenek with relative ease and actually nearly got Trengarade on the run up to Goddard's there as well as they go up the gearbox, just devouring the front straight in what seems like no time at all through Redgate. Redgate's such a tricky corner, Ryan. There's so many different lines you can take. You see some drivers, or in the case of the motorcycles, riders that go right out over the exit of pit lane and sort of take the big swooping line through the corner.
Yeah, that's a thing. The thing with that corner, well, but I find anyway, you can take. Some people like to use the slow and fast out approach, and other people try and carry the speed and keep the momentum. So interesting ways of taking that corner. But Kortenemi at the moment, he looked cool and relaxed at the start of the race and just not doing anything. Didn't seem too eager, but now he seems to be in one of those in a hurry to get by sort of moods.
I think so, yeah. I think he feels like he's got the pace of these 3 drivers and feeling that if he can get past Ovi Trengarade, he can perhaps try and stretch away. But I think that's going to be a lot easier said than done as they come in hard on the brakes now, down into the old hairpin. Now, normally lap traffic can be a real pest for drivers in most series, both in the sim racing world and in the real world. It can really be a problem, but here in the Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legends paddock, and just, oh my god, that's commentator's curse if I've ever seen it. But actually, to be fair, Ryan, that driver there, I'm not sure exactly who that was, I think it was Piccolo, did exactly the right thing, did not make any sudden movements, just kept the steering wheel straight, said, I'm going my pace, you go around me guys, you can do it, and that's exactly the way to make sure that accidents are avoided.
Yeah, absolutely. He just kind of stuck to his line and made it predictable that he was going to stay there, and everyone managed to get by without any problems. But still, this battle for second and third place would just not die down, and Rob Olenek falling back a little bit. So I don't know if he's made a mistake or if he's just maybe hanging back and watching what these guys are doing and then planning what he's going to do in the closing stages.
I think you could be spot on there, Ryan, as you often are, because I think there is Courtenay looks. He's bordering on impatient here, I might add, and maybe, well, actually, Olenek has dropped back nearly 2 seconds, so that's cautious, if anything. But maybe Olenek thinking that there could be a little bit of contact about to ensue here between Courtenay and Trengrade, but we'll see how that one develops over the closing laps. Already, goodness me, only 8 laps left to go here at Donington Park. Where on earth has this race gone?
Yeah, it just flew by, and again, Mick Clary's put in another fastest lap of the race, so Mick Clary's pretty much in the zone at the moment and just checking out with a 7.3 second advantage, and pretty much putting in another great display and proving why he's the maestro in this series.
Indeed, yes. The other drivers in the series, of course, Trengrade, Courtenay, Olenek, they've all raced against Mick Claridge for years, and they've raced against him and they've beat him many times. But at the moment, they're probably looking in the mirror, scratching the head, thinking, where has this whole new level come from? But Henkel's still on the move, now up to 14th position in the Martini car, and absolutely on the charge. Coming out of the Melbourne hairpin, getting on the power just a little bit earlier, up the inside at Goddard's. Very nice, very tight.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the moment, he's doing a good job. And currently, 14th started 28th, and Henkel, I think, probably one of those drivers that he'll improve as the season goes on. And at the moment, having a great race on 14th, and I think just doing a good job, and he's not been in any trouble, and just kind of just doing his thing. If someone's quicker than him, he's not been fighting them too much. As the battle for P5 is still going on at the moment with Pawlowski, and Pawlowski's got a bit of a train starting to form behind him.
Indeed he has, running in 5th right now. It's been another solid performance from Roman Pawlowski. Kind of lost touch with the front runners pretty early on, but showing that he has really strong pace nonetheless to be keeping Gary Teal, Bill Tyler and Antonio Rees at bay at this moment in time. Now, while we have just as we're heading towards the conclusion of this race, 6 laps to go, of course, Ryan, we like to call ourselves double Scotch because, well, we like Scotch and we're from Scotland, and there's 2 of us. But actually, Scots do quite like Donington Park. Back in 1998, the Scots won all 4 of the British Touring Cars Championship races. 2 for John Cleland, 1 for Anthony Reid, and 1 for the late great David Leslie.
Yeah, I remember that, and it's funny you mentioned it as well. I was watching that on YouTube during the weekend. Those were good times to watch that series, especially the Super Touring era. But Ovi Trengrade as well, at the moment currently second, and he's pulling away ever so slightly from Courtenay, and I think Courtenay's maybe over eagerness, if you like, to try and get by, maybe just cost him, and they just fall back a little bit.
Yep, it looks like maybe over Trengrade's just found another gear as well, and Courtenay not quite got the pace that he maybe thought he had. But just as we say that, maybe Trengrade now pushing a little bit too much. Big lock up there going through Redgate. That'll really spike the tyre temperature, which is not what you want at all, especially when you're coming down Craner curves. And big slide. Now that may well be a slowdown penalty there for Trengrade, because he had a big old cut over the inside there of the old hairpin, but he carries on, so he's just got away with it. But you don't really want to be taken off any more than that.
Absolutely not, and that's the thing with Donington. If you cut some of these corners ever so slightly or too much, especially through the Fogarty chicane, you can get a slow down and around here that can cost you big time, as one of the back markers gets out of the way straight away. And again, Courtenay is caught back up to Ovi Trengrade.
Game on again, and this is where you really can, if you're the following car, you really can pounce and pick the pocket of your rival when there's lap traffic everywhere. They're having their own battle. One of the drivers going up the inside there and they'll be getting the blue flag now. They'll be looking in the mirror thinking, how long do we have to pull over to let them through? And this is getting a little bit messy. One of the drivers pulling aside, the other not. It's showing you as well, and but then they come back together anyway. But goodness, it looks like Trangrade and Cortinemi getting through clean as well, so good respect all round.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing with this series as well. Most of the drivers are respectful and they give each other plenty of room when racing hard, and it's great to see. And at the moment, it's still Trangrade in second and Cortinemi in third. And as further back, the battle between Gary Teal and Bill Tyler is still going on, and also Antonio Maurice in this battle as well. And Gary Teal is doing a good job in sixth, managing to keep both of these guys behind.
Yeah, I have to say, I love the paint scheme on Antonio Maurice's car. It looks like he's got a kind of Philadelphia Eagles logo on the front of the nose of that car as well. Would that be Philadelphia or Seahawks? I'm not sure. It's a bird anyway. It's an eagle. Yeah, there you go. So it looks like the Philadelphia Eagles. Anyway, the number 9 car of Gary Teal still holding off Bill Tyler. Bill Tyler's been trying to get by pretty much the entire race, Ryan.
Yeah, he's pretty much been trying to get by. He's been on the back of Gary Teal for most of this race, but Teal just seems to be getting a better exit on most of these corners, and they getting the run. And Bill Tyler is just you can't really do anything about him. They can't get by as we ride on board with Rees at the moment. Just sitting in the box seat and watching what these guys are doing as Bill Tyler blocked up massively.
Okay, so we're looking on track right now at Laust Olsen in the 13 car. I believe has just made a move on Henkel in 14th. Henkel I think it got that place briefly. Olsen has taken it back again as well. So there's Henkel in the Martini liveried car, the white car with the blue and red stripe down the middle. 3 laps to go here at Donington Park. Mick Claridge holds a 4-second advantage over Ovi Trangrade, and actually Ovi Trangrade going a 1/10 of a second quicker than Mick Claridge last time by. But Ryan, that's the first time I can remember seeing on the timing screen today Mick Claridge going slower than one of his rivals.
Yeah, I think Mick's just not taking it easy, but just being sensible, not to overdrive. He knows he's got a decent enough lead, and as we look back at the Trangrade as well, he's under pressure from Cortinemi still, and I wonder if Cortinemi will try anything on the last lap to try and get by, maybe try and make a bit of a move up the inside. But at the moment, Trangrade is doing a good defensive job of keeping him behind.
He is. I completely agree with you there, Cortinemi. And the thing is, after a difficult round last time out for Cortinemi, he could really do with these points. But all he can do is just try and keep Trangrade under pressure, and you never know, a little mistake might creep in when you're getting into those last kind of really anxious laps at the end of the race. They can creep in, of course, especially at places like the old hairpin there, which there you go, massive slide from Trangrade, and Cortinemi thinks, right, I've got you rattled.
He has indeed, and I think Cortinemi, if he gets a great run down here heading down to the Foggy chicane, I think he's going to wait until the exit of that chicane to try and make a move head down to the hairpin. And I think if he gets a great run, he'll go for it. And just watching at the moment, what does Cortinemi do? Can he get a run? Oh no, he can't.
So difficult to get the run there as well. It can be done, but look at that. Whoa, look at Cortinemi, just tucks it tight and back on the power early as well. Trangrade covers off as they go up towards Goddard's, round the hairpin. It's going to be 2 to go. Cortinemi's going to have to try again, but you can tell he's just got maybe that little bit of an advantage on grip possibly, and Trangrade has had his cage well and truly rattled.
Yeah, he has indeed, as we're on to the final lap now, and Cortinemi's doing everything to try and get by, but Trangrade at the moment, he's feeling rattled possibly, but he's doing a good job of keeping Cortinemi behind him as they head down to the old hairpin. And I think can Cortinemi try and get a good exit? Yes, he does, but I don't think he's going to be able to make a move.
Yeah, there's not really a great deal of room there, and very, very clever racecraft there from Ove Trengerade going around Kevin Schwant's corner and up towards McLean's. It's easy to leave the door open there, but he made sure that door was firmly shut. Very, very impressive racecraft there from the Scandinavian. Round they go then, down onto the back straight. They'll go past the Grand Prix collection here, up to the Carn Fogarty chicane. And can Cortinemi get enough of a run? This is pretty much last chance saloon now. 2 hairpins coming up, the Melbourne hairpin and Goddard's. Can Cortinemi get this second place? He's got a good run here. Is he going to go for the lunge, or is he going to try and set the run up towards Goddard's? We'll have our winner. Mick Claridge will be going around the final hairpin right now. There he goes. Mick Claridge will be your winner. He takes the checkered flag, but who is going to take second place? Trengerade or Cortinemi? They come around. It's a drag race to the line. Who's going to get it? Is it Cortinemi? Is it Trengerade? It's Trengerade, ever so slightly, by the tiniest of margins. We will get a replay of that for you folks. Do not worry now. My goodness, T-bone steak. Oh dear. Oh no. That is a very un-Garrett Teal mistake there. That's devastating.
Yeah, but
go on.
The battle between Olsen and Henko still is coming up to the final corner now, and it looks like Olsen's going to hold on and take that position, but Henko tries to take the wide line and try and get the switch back. Can he get the run heading down to the hairpin? It's going to be a drag race. Who's going to get it? I think Olsen's just going to get it.
Oh, very, very close there. So we're going to get a look here on our GSRC replay between this fantastic little battle here. Trengerade in front, Cortinemi behind in the maroon or burgundy. We could call it Ron Burgundy, that car. Up the hill they go towards Goddard's, and look at Cortinemi trying to find any possible way through. Tucks it in tight. Do they make contact? Very nearly, but look at Trengerade back on the power that little bit earlier. The Radisson Hotel's in the way. Go look at this drag race to the line. And actually, our timing screens are showing that actually Cortinemi just edged it. So Cortinemi making that move on the very last lap. Wow. Well, we're going to take a very short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Do not go anywhere, because we will be right back with official results and driver interviews. Welcome back to Donington Park, where we have just witnessed, well, a few things. First of all, an absolute domination here from our defending champion and championship leader, Mick Claridge, P1 number 1. It continues to run on for the British star, but what a fantastic battle we had between Topi Kortenemi, Uwe Trengerade and Rob Olenek as well. And Topi Kortenemi just edging out that drag race to the line by 9 thousandths of a second. Extraordinary. Roman Pawlowski was 5th, a little bit further back from that leading battle, with Antonio Reis in 6th, Bill Tyler in 7th, Gary Teal in 8th, despite that little skirmish on the final lap, with Bruce Nelson in 9th and John Olsen in 10th.
Finishing in 11th was Chris Maricami with Colin Bentley in 12th. Lance Olsen finished in 14th, just taking up position at the line from Andreas J. Helmkohl, who finished in 14th, with Yanni Lehman in 15th. 16th was Robert Plumley, Matthew Maudsley 17th, 18th was Dave Cohen, 19th was Ron Wallbank, and rounding out the 20 was Heidiki Koivisto.
Running through our last few finishers, Andrew Eng was 21st, followed by Don Good, Jesse Brannan, Steve O'Malley, Eugenio Massa, Cesare Piccolo, Robert Reynolds, Michael Griesinger, Randy Hoff, and Chris Hengler, classified in 30th.
And
so we have a few of our key protagonists from the race joining us now. Mick Claridge, this run continues. What have you been having for breakfast recently?
Oh, I don't know what's going on. I put in quite a lot of practice, to be honest with you, this week, mate. Toppy was pretty quick, first of all, straight away. And that normally does it for me. If someone's quicker than me, early on in the week, I know I've got to put in a lot of hours. So I did that. So, yeah, and didn't really get on top of the car and the setup until this morning. And then I got lucky again in the race. I think I got lucky. You probably don't, but I do. Toppy come off at the old hairpin there, didn't he, and lost the rear end. And then that was it. Then the gap was there, and then the guys were on top of him. So, yeah, another one. But again, I think it's another sort of lucky win. But there you go.
There's plenty of definitions of lucky, that's for sure. A lot of people say you make your own luck, and that's. I think. Tell us about the opening stages of the race, Mike, because as you rightly point out, it seemed like Toppy had the match on pace. He was right there.
Oh yeah, he was. We've been trading lap times all week, and he was on pace. He had good race pace and good qualifying pace. I just said to him, I just said to everyone in the end of the session now, I had to really watch the tyres for 2 laps because you have to run. Well, I found that I had to run tyre pressures quite low to be able to get them to do the whole stint nicely. Otherwise they'll melt on an hairpin or something like that. So I think that maybe caught him out in the old hairpin there where he lost the car. But that, yeah, I mean, once you get sort of the secret for Donington to me is get away from a slowdown, so make it so you can get a slowdown and still be in the lead or still be in your position, and it takes so much pressure off, and then you can just relax. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as I was out of slowdown range, I could just relax then and just concentrate.
Final question from me, Mick. Of course, you're pulling double duty at the moment in the classic races here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Lotus 49 on a Saturday, Lotus 79 on a Sunday. How's that experience been of doing both of those? And how are they comparing racing in both series?
Well, first of all, I'm not really concentrating too much on the 79. That car seriously would take more time than I have put in the 49 to get quick. It's just completely different. It's such a fast car and it's unbelievable. And I hold the steering wheel quite tight when I'm driving the 49, but in the 79, I'm wringing its neck, and I end up with tendonitis after every practice session in that car. So there's no surprise you only see me fighting for 12th and 13th and all this sort on in the 79. It's just completely mental, that car. I just can't believe how quick it is, especially when you do a practice session in the 49 and then you get in that. Some of the corners I'm, having trouble finding the brake marker, and then someone in practice session will tell me that corner was flat out. That's the sort of thing. That's what's going on there, Pete.
It's crazy. 11 years of development, and it's another planet altogether. I totally agree with you. But fair play to giving them both a go. Before we let you go, Mick, I know you've always got a band of fans to say hello to. Who would you like to say hello to here on the Global Sim Racing channel?
Yeah, there's loads of people. I won't name them all, but the three main guys. I'm not even going to mention them. In fact, I'm not mentioning anyone.
Fair enough. You're going to enjoy that win for you and you alone. Mick, congratulations on another great win, and give them a chance next week.
Oh, well, do you know what? Saying that, I don't know when Michigan's coming up, but I'm sure that's going to end it. I'll tell you that, mate.
Well, I'm sure they're looking forward to it. Mick, thanks so much, and well done on another great win.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, guys.
So next up, we have Topi Kortenemi, who is with Ryan Walker.
Yeah, Topi Kortenemi finishing in second, and Topi, you were having a good race with Mick in the early stages and keeping with him, but at one point you ended up falling back and falling into a battle of Ove and Rob. But what was wrong? Was it just the setup not suiting the track, or is it just maybe was it a lack of pace?
No, it was just and the setup was good. Nothing wrong with the car. Actually, I just the old hairpin. The braking zone there is very tricky. I just lost the rear there a little bit, and I was quite lucky to save it and not spin and crash there. So I considered it a win. And after that, driving close behind Rob, and I missed the apex to the wrong side. And got a slowdown and had to let Uwe and Rob past. Didn't have any previous experience racing here from the weekly races, so I was a bit lost driving close behind someone, but it was fun with Uwe.
Yeah, and with Donington Park as well. How did you find the layout for the Lotus 49? Do you think it was good?
Yeah, I think the hairpins are good for passing opportunities and to give some variety to the track because you're going to have one chicane either way, and I don't like those, especially that one where there's bumps and easy to get a 1X or a slowdown. A very tricky place to go fast with these cars.
As we head to Road Atlanta next week, how do you fit what's your expectations for that race? Do you think you can finish on the podium again, or even go one better and take the win and challenge Mick? Or do you think so far this season with Mick being in good form, do you think it's going to be a case of Mick needs to make a mistake to stand any chance of winning this season or stopping his dominant run?
I think I just have to keep my own pace and wait to make some mistake or something. I mean, it's like a machine who doesn't make much mistakes in the race, but it will happen eventually. But we'll see. I have the less time for practice in the upcoming weeks, but I'll try to race anyway.
And before we let you go, Topi, is there anyone that you want to give a thank you to or shout out to?
Yeah, any friends and family, if they happen to be watching, my best regards to them.
Good stuff, as that was Topi Kortenemi, second place finisher, joining us. And have to say, Peter, that was a fantastic race. And Mick Claris checked out halfway through the race, but the battle for second and third place on the podium was absolutely fantastic. And this race in general, I have to say, well, I think anyway, was the best race of the season so far.
I think it was, yeah. It was great fun to call that again with you, Ryan, and I hope you all enjoyed watching that race here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Later on today, we have the Camel GT series, another of our classic series here on the Global Sim Racing channel, and then tomorrow, the Lotus 79 Grand Prix series. Do check out our listings for that. But that's all we have time for today here on the Global Sim Racing channel. A huge thank you goes to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts, and you can see them here on your screen. An additional thank you goes to June Lalonde, who provides all of our wonderful music. And you can check out how to get her great work on bandcamp.com. A big thank you to Ryan, Sean and Dougie for their work on today's broadcast. And if you'd like to find out more about what we do here at the Global Sim Racing Channel, you can find out on our website, globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also check out our social media feeds. We have Twitter, Facebook and Instagram with the handles shown on your screen. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.